Lately there's been a rise in AI, and Sora 2 is becoming popular. ChatGPT is popular. Gemini is popular. Google Copilot is popular. There are other ways in websites and companies that are using AI to not only run the website but navigate the customers on the website. You can now talk to AI instead of like regular people, and I just think this AI takeover is bad for the earth. And I feel like I've already said this, and I know I've already said this on here, but it's just crazy that people will use it and then they won't look up the consequences. And ChatGPT, to generate a paragraph, you have to use a cup. To generate a paragraph, you use a cup of water basically. And let's say I drink 6 cups of water. You telling ChatGPT to generate 6 paragraphs is my daily intake of water. Now imagine that times a million. Because there are hundreds of millions of people that use ChatGPT, that are using Sora 2, that are using Grok, and I think they're using it without looking at the consequences. And the consequences are like bad. It's bad. Like the for AI to run, it uses either water, electricity, or minerals, precious earth minerals. And imagine that there's a model you build and it uses all three, and millions of people use it. Do people not realize how bad that is for the earth, especially in the long run, especially with climate change, especially with like global warming and people like I just don't think people are smart enough. I don't think the 8 billion people around me are smart enough to think maybe I shouldn't use AI because I want my children to at least live, my children's children to at least live in a suitable environment. Like when I first heard of AI, I was like, okay, we're gonna use it for good. But now everyone just uses it to cheat, to lie, to make content, and to just do stupid stuff. And I just don't like it because I feel like, with a resource as important as AI, we should be using it for good and not for memes. And like, don't get me started with the data centers, because the AI operate through the data centers. And the more these data centers are built, the less safe water we will have, and the less areas we will be able to live in, because people who live around these data centers describe it as I can't even put into words how they describe it, because it's so bad. It's not livable, and they can't live around it. And then like what, 20, 30 years, no, 10 years later, when I have kids, and then my kids have kids and kids and kids and kids, and then there's going to be a generation like basically where they just can't live because of this, and they're going to look back 100 years from now and they're going to be like, wow, maybe they should not have indulged in AI so heavily so we could live on this planet peacefully.